Here is the new BMW M340i LCI Touring. Cancel your order for the M3 Touring because this car is all you'll ever need. So come with me as I launch it, test out its technologies, see how it responds on Welsh B roads and ultimately test it out on some motorways. I'm Max Aftervarney and welcome to Driven Plus. Firstly, there's quite a big difference between the M340i Touring and the M3 Touring. See, the M340i Touring starts at 56k, whereas the M3 Touring starts at 86k. 30k difference. Where if you had some modification, which is the case of this one, you don't need to spend that extra 30k. So keep in tune to see what modifications this has. The engine. Let's thank BMW for still offering us a non-M car with a 6-cylinder engine, the B58. 374 horsepower, 500 newton meters of torque, and it's got some tasty modifications. You can see here the Venturi intake system. This is the best intake on the market. The quality is insane. Plus the TDI tuning box. With all these combined, this now runs 440 horsepower and 550 newton meters of torque. Now the original 0 to 60 is 4.4 seconds, so stay tuned to see what it really does. It might be a sub 4-second car. So this is the latest Generation 3 Series. I think it's the best 3 Series BMW have ever produced. It looks so good. It's got different bumpers. The headlights are smaller and slimmer. The daytime running lights are inverted. They're a complete different redesign. Now when you compare it to everything else in its class, such as Audi and Mercedes, this thing is top dog quite easily. Onto the rear, it's got a different design rear bumper. All this black exterior trim is now standard. The tailpipes remain that weird shape, which I'm not a big fan of. I just think if BMW gave this quad tailpipes, it just would have given that extra stealth look. I mean, you take away this M340i badge, you just think it's a normal 3 Series, but I suppose that's the way BMW want to market this car. It's very understated. However, let's give the B58 a rev. What does it sound like? Nice and clean. Looking into the boot of the M340i Touring, you get 500 litres of boot space. With the seats down, let's down turns into 1,500 litres. That's more than the equivalent Audi and Mercedes. And if we bring the boot down, which you can do electronically, another thing I love about 3 Series Touring cars is you have this window here which opens. That's mega. It's just so easy to take the shopping out and take it into the house. Inside for me is where BMW really upped their game recently, and that's with the iDrive 8. Look at that, look how mega that looks. Especially when you're sat in it, it just feels a whole lot better as well. Instrument display, 12.3 inch, infotainment system, 14.9. Although one thing which I don't like is they moved all the climate control buttons from down here into the display, so you now have to go into some sub-menus to put something like your seat heater on. I mean, for me, what's wrong with the button? And the biggest change is the gear stick. Gone are the days of the BMW traditional gear stick, and you now get this little flap thing, which I'm not really a big fan of. BMW, don't know what you're trying to gain here. Feels like you're trying to copy the VW Golf. Now this car does have some optional extras, starting with these M Performance 795M wheels. They look epic. You also get a panoramic sunroof and Harman Kardon sound system, and you can listen in style in these optional extra M Sport seats, which are really comfortable and supportive. You also get Comfort Plus pack, which gives you electric memory seats and keyless entry. So I can now open the car, get in and take it for a drive, in which we're going to do now. On the B roads, really putting this car through its paces, it feels good. It is typical M-like though. There is a bit of a disconnect between the front axle and me. It won't be as sharp as an M3 Touring will be. However, saying that, this is a 1.8 ton car, it's an estate car. It deals with all the bumps and turns really well. What can you really expect? The gearbox is a ZF8 8-speed torque converter, big fan of that. However, the gear stick though, as I said before, they've got rid of the traditional one. You can't do the traditional ninja flick and put it in S. What you have to do now is just a little flick down, and now it's in its sporty setting. I mean, yeah, it's easy, but I miss doing that type of thing, and then the BMW turns into a jet fighter. It's really fun to drive considering it's an estate car. It doesn't feel that heavy at all, I got to say. And of course, having that xDrive system makes everything a whole lot better. As we come to a corner here, we'll just go down the gear and put your foot down and you just get pushed out of a corner. Obviously that's thanks to being a rear bias setup. Yeah. Now this has the adaptive suspension as standard, which I think changed the game on this car. It firms up the body so much and it reduces the roll to a minimum. The brakes, 4-pot calipers up front, single piston calipers on the rear, the exact same setup as that M240 I reviewed. If you want to watch me review one of them, click up on the banner. But yeah, they work well, they're a bit spongy. I just feel they could add a bit more feel and responsiveness. That TDI tuning box definitely makes a massive difference. You'll be doing well to get away from this car. It's got the torque to come out of a corner and it's got the horsepower and legs to carry on going as well. The B58 comes alive when it's been tuned. Massive difference. It loves it. That's a nice modification, that TDI tuning box. It just adds to that drama. It gives you a better driving experience. And the beauty is that xDrive system gives you the confidence to floor this wherever you are, no matter if it's winter or summer, rain, snow. It's 100% grip pretty much 99% of the time. So you do get some different driving modes. You've got Eco Pro. And the thing I like about, obviously, the iDrive 8, it incorporates a different load of colour schemes when you put it in different drive modes. So Eco Pro, you've got these blue and yellow, they look like beach waves. And then you put it in comfort, it then turns into some sort of sand. I mean, that should be for sand mode, really. And then you put it into Sport or Sport Plus, and everything turns red, and it looks like some sort of sunset mountain scheme. It's a bit weird, isn't it? I don't really get what they're trying to do there, but I suppose it's like a cinema effect, and you kind of get incorporated with, I don't know, the immersive experience of being in these different driving modes. Bit of a gimmick for me. So it's now time to test the M340i to see how fast it goes from 0 to 60. Now the book says 4.4 seconds, but the M3 Touring does it in 3.6 seconds. Now this one's 440 horsepower, so let's see what it really does. Well, let's see how close it can get. So to put it in launch control, the gearbox has got to be in S, turn the traction off and Sport Plus. Left foot firmly down on the brake, right foot engage launch control and go. It's a sub 4 second car, 3.91 seconds, that's 0.6 seconds quicker than standard. That's rapid, it's such a sleeper. Wow, 3.91 seconds. So it's now time to test out how the M340i responds on the motorway, because we know it deals with the B roads quite nicely, but how does it respond on the commute to work? Well, as I would have expected, it's very comfortable, quiet and refined, as you'd expect a 3 Series to be. And the good thing is, there's instant torque, instant acceleration, enough to get you out of trouble. So the new M340i is actually a mild hybrid, MHT, mild hybrid technology. It's got a 48-volt battery. Now this charges during braking of all the energy that gets lost, it gets put back into the battery. And this aids turbo lag. So I put my foot down here. There is a little bit of instant acceleration which is from that battery, and it also helps with the stop-start system. It helps the starter motor. So yeah, it's a pretty cool system to have, and I would imagine it helped save a fuel a little bit. And as we come on to that, let's find out what this does to the gallon. So I am sitting at 61 miles per hour. I haven't set the cruise control yet, but I can set it on the steering wheel there. It's got limiter, and you can spec this with adaptive cruise control, but this hasn't got it. Now I'm sitting at 64 miles per hour. If I go up to 65, it's now returning me 35 miles per gallon, 34.3. That's mega. You know, for your commute to work, 35 mpg. It's now averaging 60 behind the car, can't go any faster, 38 mpg. That's insane. Now it's returning me 40. So yeah, it's a 3 litre 6-cylinder engine, and if you're going to thrash it around the B roads, of course, that'll probably be low 20s, high teens. But however, if you're going to use it on your commute to work, it'll return you 40 miles per gallon, high 30s. It's incredible. But I just love how quiet it is in here. And when you put your foot down and you let off, you can hear that Venturi intake. There's a little blow off. I'm not going to do it again. But it's nice. It's so refined. You could just relax in here. Whether you had a bad day at work, just get in this and just cruise. Or whether you had a good day in work, do whatever, thrash its pants off. This car is the perfect definition of an all-rounder. It does everything it says on the tin. And it just boils down to whether you want to spend that extra 30k for an M3 Touring or not. And of course, stand out. But many thanks to James for lending his car today. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Thank you and bye.